Hey everyone, I know how we're all feeling. The disappointment is sad. Today I'm bringing you the match review of our disappointing 2-0 loss against the potential champions for this season, Liverpool. Eventful game, a lot to talk about for today. I just want to quickly say today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app. If you guys do want to help me out, in the link in the description below will be a link to the app. Click on that as each download does get tracked and it does help me out. But getting straight back into the review. Now, this is going to be a bit of a different review. If you're feeling very emotional and angry, this might not be the review for you right now. You can either come back if you want or just get on with your life. But we learned a lot about the team today, made a lot of observations as well. But I think the first thing I want to start with, and as you guys saw the title, maybe the biggest mistake Sarri made was the lineup for the game today. Now, we all knew it was going to either be a false 9 up front or a 4-3-3 with a striker. And here's the thing. I understand the merits as to why Sarri would want to use a false 9 system. Of course, we saw that game against Man City as well. We have been okay at times in the season playing the system. And I understand Sarri's mentality. He's thinking, you know, now I've got Ruben in the team, someone that makes runs. Now Emerson's here helping to support the play. This could be the final touches to really, you know, get that system working with Hazard as the false 9. But, and I kept stressing this in my match preview, I felt the benefits you get from using a striker up front are just greater. In theory, yeah, strikerless system works, but I know how some of these guys play. I know that they're going to bottleneck the potential for amazing things. I'll be speaking about Willian later on. And I just knew that in the nature of this game, where we might be, you know, defending a bit, keeping our position, there are going to be moments where we need to relieve the pressure and we need that outlet. And one thing Olivier Giroud's proven this season is that he is that outlet that the team needs, because, you know, picture this in your head. You're Aspilicueta on the right, you've got Mane running at you. What are you going to do? You're either going to lose the ball or lose the ball. But if Giroud's there up front, that's an outlet where you can hit a long 40-yard pass to him. Hopefully Giroud holds it off. Hazard plays closer to him. And then you start to build things, you start to make things happen. But the biggest benefit of using a strikerless system was seeing Eden Hazard playing in his best, most natural position. I kept urging, and I've been emphasizing how good our rotational play has been, where, you know, Hazard is playing in that free role on the left-hand side, where, you know, he receives the ball there, but then due to the support from Ruben and Emerson, he's allowed to drift in field in the half spaces, pick up any pockets he wants to give us that numerical advantage. And we missed that today. We did. And I was thinking during the match preview, wow, I mean, we do kind of bottleneck Eden Hazard in some of these big games. At times it's going to work, but I don't feel we got the team for that, because Hazard is very valuable. When he's playing on the left-hand side and he's deeper, he helps us play out from the back, beat the opposition press. The beauty of Hazard playing out wide today would have been that we forced Liverpool's fullbacks back, because even though I thought our performance was valiant, if you think this was an awful performance, I mean, you don't understand the game, honestly. It was not anywhere near an awful performance. We have to accept there's levels to this stuff. And currently, we're not at that level where Liverpool are right now. That's the truth. But this was a valiant display. But I felt that it relied a bit too much on individual efficiency. And this is where Willian comes into play briefly. For me, I thought this was shocking. I thought this was awful. Now, I've always thought people are too critical and harsh on Willian, but this season in particular, I've noticed a decline in the guy's game now. Noticed a big decline, and this game today, with just how important it was, I don't feel like he put up a sufficient enough performance today. Not only was he ruining every single counter-attack, which is synonymous with the guy now, I felt that maybe he was a bit weak in the 50-50. There was a moment when we were, 2-0 down? No, not 2-0 down. Before Liverpool scored the first goal, where You know, I wanted to see Willian attempt to win the header against Fabinho. Yeah, you're not going to win it. You'll get knocked on the floor. But you need to see that. Make it difficult. You just cowed away, let Fabinho do it. And Liverpool were able to easily keep possession of the ball in our own half. And then not too long after that, they obviously got the goal. But I just thought, wow. When you have a system, using a striker system where individuals need to take more responsibility with what they're doing on the ball, and you've got Willian that's constantly breaking the play down, losing the ball, or being inefficient with it, it's always going to affect your chances. And as we noticed throughout the game, Hazard was very isolated. Even the times where, you know, he won the ball, it was like him running against 5-4 Liverpool players. The support wasn't anywhere near close to him. They weren't quick. They weren't obviously there beside him quickly enough. And I just felt that there was so much potential, you know, in terms of the moves you were creating and us dispossessing Liverpool to obviously start counterattacks that amounted to nothing, that didn't end anywhere. And in that sense, our first half was kind of synonymous of Sarri's spell as a Chelsea manager so far. You know, we're promising to do some amazing things. But the reality is the squad just isn't good enough for this style of football just yet. My argument's always been, is that a reason though to give up on the manager, knowing that with another season, things could be much more tailor-made to the system? And come on, you guys. And I think maybe this is the best time to talk about that crazy 10-minute cameo right after Liverpool's second goal. But Hazard, man, Hazard. Ugh, wow. When he didn't score the first one, I was in disbelief. I was standing up, getting ready to celebrate. It's 2-1. We're back in the game. We're going to make this happen. But to miss, damn. And then a few short minutes after that, to get another opportunity that he's not doing much better in. And I've seen Hazard score from this position time and time again. He's done that. We've seen him do that. But he didn't do it in the game that mattered today. It's just Liverpool we're playing against. This ain't the same Liverpool team that we faced when we beat them 2-0 here. This Liverpool team was on a higher level to that team. Higher level. They're better defensively. They're better in midfield. And they're better up front as well. They're a much more complete team. This was always going to be harder for us than that Liverpool team back in the day. But those Hazard misses prove that we're not on that level just yet. And we have a lot more work to do. A lot more work. This was a game today where the fine details were always going to matter. It was a game today where if you made an individual mistake, you were going to get punished for it. It was a game today where everything you did had to be with maximum quality. You know, when a lot of people like pretend to themselves that, you know, they could do what Premier League players are doing. We saw how high level this game was. There's a reason why these guys get paid the money they do. But this game proved that we're not on that level. We're nowhere near it just yet. You know, that 10-minute cameo where if this was previous Chelsea teams, we're definitely scoring, we're back in the game, and we're applying that pressure to Liverpool because context within a game matters. Moments matter, you know. When Liverpool scored the first goal. And maybe this is a good time to briefly talk about Hudson-Odoi actually. Hudson-Odoi today, listen, he's 18 years old. He's not going to be playing amazing week in, week out, but that's not why you don't use him. You know, the more games like this he plays, the quicker his development is, the more effective he becomes in the future. I guarantee there are going to be so many reactionary, short-sighted opinions on Hudson-Odoi, and I bet there'll be nonsense about people talking like Sarri was right to really not give him the amount of game time, which in my opinion, I feel he should have gotten. But again, for people to see Hudson-Odoi's performance today with an open mind, you need to have perspective in the game. And I just think sometimes we as fans, and of course I'm guilty of this because we're all the same fans, you know, we're too reactionary. We demand too much, you know. I get it, you know, we spend a lot of money, invest a lot of our time. We want instant results, you know, we live in a consumerist world, but the nature of football just doesn't work like that. And I think that, you know, this is the perspective that we need to have when we start talking about Callum Hudson-Odoi. I think the guy's an elite talent. He is a world-class potential talent. He is, but he's an 18-year-old one. And maybe over time, it'll look more and more like Sarri was right with how he was using Hudson-Odoi. But still, Hudson, you know, it was his fault for the first goal. I feel he didn't track Mane's run. He didn't. And Liverpool do that time and time again where, you know, they like to suck the opponent's fullbacks in and have someone run on the outside. But you're supposed to have your winger there, tracking the run, stopping that from happening. Hudson-Odoi was caught ball watching, but he's 18. It's okay. He'll only be better for it, and to be honest, it doesn't bother me. But remember my other point about being decisive and efficient in the big moments? That's what Liverpool have in abundance with the players they have. For Salah to attempt that strike, just to even attempt that strike, so soon after the first goal going in, and to execute it, perfect strike, perfect power, unsavable. I can't really blame anyone for not defending it better either. Another big decisive moment made by a world-class player. And then I think we all knew that the game is out of our hands. But, you know, again, this was a game of moments. And I don't feel like we're the team right now that's going to capitalize on those big moments. In the future, we will be. Could that be next season? Could that be in 2 seasons? It might. But if Liverpool have proven anything to us, is that we need to have a philosophy and believe in it and stick with it. Because with what they're doing right now, compared to what Jurgen Klopp was doing the minute he first signed for Liverpool, where their league position was worse than how Brendan Rodgers left it. Look at them now. Look at the team they are. Look at the players they have. Look at what they're doing. Listen, you know, I'm one of those fans where I hate every football team. I don't like to be basic like that. I respect our opponents. I respect what Liverpool are doing. I respect how they're doing it as well. And if anything, this should give people at Chelsea a massive wake-up call in regards to strategies you can invest in to become part with the big boys again, you know? Because that's what we need right now. We need to stick with it. Honestly, it's going to be an interesting time in our future. Very interesting. I think that with Sarri, though, I've seen enough where it could be okay. And I feel like we still have a good possibility of staying in the top 4 as well as having a good Europa League campaign. But you can see today with Liverpool, even though we wanted to win the game, I felt like they just wanted to win it even more. But we'll become that team in the future. I don't think this is a time for fans to be reactionary now and blame Sarri or blame individuals, etc., etc. We need to have that perspective in place. We have to understand where we're at in the football spectrum, how we are as a club throughout Europe, throughout the world. And then we have to see where the other big boys are. And we need to start finding the steps to get on that path to reach that type of level. But the only valid criticism today is whether Sarri should have started with a striker or not. You guys saw my preview. You heard my reasons as to why I vouched for using a striker system. There were benefits to both. But as I'm stressing, the benefits for using a striker system were just better, in my opinion. I mean, I get why he didn't want to use it. You know, doesn't want Hazard tracking back, rather have him forwards, you know, stretching the Liverpool defense, which he was doing. But with the type of team we are right now, we do need a focal point up front to help take responsibility away from other players and to help make some of their lives easier. We saw the potential. We've seen that we can get there. There's a lot of potential. That cameo against, we created some very good chances against them today. In the grand scheme of this season, it just wasn't our game today. Anyway, you guys, it's just my take on the game. Please like, comment and subscribe. I'm Nini FC. This is Blue Lions TV. Signing out.